Big Beat's big opening.
This is yet another reason why people will want to come to Irving and want to stay in Irving.
We have the crowds, the food, and the music as Big Beat Dallas celebrates its grand opening at the Toyota Music Factory in Irving. Campión rolls on.
I think it's going to be a great thing, a great opportunity for people.
See the construction of the newest extension and find out what could come next for this favorite fitness feature of the city. Water wonders.
This is real important and I am very excited about it.
Go along on a tour of Irving's water system to see the source and find out how it gets to your home. Plus the volunteer effort to spruce up a park and catch up with some Irving lifeguards in training. Now on City Source. Health experts are looking ahead to this mosquito season and sharing how to fight the bite. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. That story is coming up. But we begin with the grand opening of Big Beat Dallas at the Toyota Music Factory. The Music Factory, as you probably know by now, is an entertainment and dining destination owned by the city of Irving. The grand opening celebration of Big Beat spanned 5 days, and we caught some of the highlights. Bands jam music late into the night, and a farmer's market opens first thing in the morning. In between all that, there is a lot more food, beverage, and music, and we're going to take you through all of it. This is the grand opening of Big Beat Dallas.
This is another component yet of the entire Music Factory experience that's going to bring a level of entertainment and a level of dining experience that really has not been seen at all in the DFW region.
We are so excited to see this in Irving, Texas. This is something we have wanted for many, many years.
Yeah, they have blues and jazz. It'll sit where that table is.
Just after that opening ceremony, Big Beat founder Billy Bob Barnett took city leaders on a tour.
Great to have all the great Irving people here. Everybody's fought through this process to get it done.
We went back through for a closer look because there is a lot to see. 5 restaurants in all, and even more areas for music. That's Martini Ranch, and we also got a look at the 24-hour Texas Jam House, some of the mixed drinks at Bar Manzanilla, the selection of more than 300 wines at the upscale Sea Bar.
It's one of the favorites of mine. I have a few, but this one is a beautiful wine from Spain.
And then there's all the food. While all of the spots have their specialties, here are some of what's on the menu at Highway 61 South.
This is the burger of all burgers. This has some tempura fried bacon on it with a fried egg.
I heard a lot of people like the Frito pie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Frito pie has been one of our top selling appetizers. It's easy to share. It's got some pulled pork on there with some smoked beans.
This is the kind of food people Instagram.
Oh, absolutely. We encourage it too.
And talk about social media moments. NFL legend Dan Marino showed up here and posed for pictures.
Just good to be here. Looking forward to being a part of this and seeing what's going on tonight and having some fun.
Dallas is a major tenant inside the Toyota Music Factory. The Music Factory already includes the pavilion and a number of other restaurants, and more attractions are on the way.
It's going to be an incredible experience.
The Music Factory is developed by Art Group and owned by the city of Irving.
The residents themselves voted for this project many years ago, and we've been working hard for a number of years to get this to where it is at today.
It's growth for our city and our community.
And so we've all got a vested interest to make it work, Thomas.
As patrons try out their first meals inside the restaurants at Big Beat, city leaders are looking at the big picture.
It brings another whole dynamic to what we're doing here.
We've been very strong as a suburb, but we've kind of been pinned into that suburban category. And when you see a product like this evolve, this is the stuff you see in major markets in major cities. And I think this really puts Irving in a different tier.
I grew up in Irving.
Michael Lopez says this will now be his first choice for a night out.
Gonna have me going to Dallas a lot less.
Turning up the impact on the city while pumping up the volume of the music at Big Beat Dallas at the Toyota Music Factory. And you can see a little more of that at the end of today's show. Keep in mind that there is a cover charge to get into Big Beat after 9 p.m. except on Monday nights. Now, while work continues on the Toyota Music Factory, it is about to celebrate its grand opening, and there are 3 days of events. It's not practical to list them all here, but we have some highlights to share. On Friday, April 13th, the ribbon cutting will happen at 11 a.m., followed by live music. At 3 p.m., special family-friendly acts, including aerialists, magicians, fire performers, and more. 7 p.m. is the Brad Paisley concert in the Pavilion. That is a ticketed event. On Saturday, the 14th, live music begins at 7 a.m. and continues all day. At 1 p.m., the Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue Dance Team and Mavs Maniacs will perform and sign autographs. There are a lot more events on the schedule. Look for updates at toyotamusicfactory.com. In our ongoing series on infrastructure, an extension of the Campión Trail is underway. Crews are pouring concrete to connect Irving's trail with Capel's. Take a look.
Well, this is our extension of Campión Trails. This is a 2-mile extension of the trail that will go down along the levee, underneath MacArthur, and tie into Capel. Dallas County, their Trail and Open Space program, once again, they have partnered with us to help fund this, $2.5 million worth.
When you look at the whole thing, we have the longest trail system on the west side of Dallas County.
Going forward, we have several projects in the next 3, 4, 5 years. The completion of Campión, I'm kind of working on a project now, just trying to determine the scope and the alignment for it. Would go around the old Texas Stadium site. That'll be 6 miles of trail that will tie in the north section with the south section. There's other projects. City of Dallas is working with us about making a tie-in. That'll be coming this summer. Capel is extending their trail system, Cypress Waters. They just got some funding to tie in their trail system to here. The Farmers Branch, we're talking to them about tying in. Everybody's getting really excited in the next coming years about having a tie-in.
When you have a healthier, a more connected city, well, it's a benefit for everybody else.
I think it's going to be a great thing, a great opportunity for people.
Infrastructure projects and other city initiatives will be discussed at the next town hall meeting. It will be April 16th at Lee Park Recreation Center starting at 6:30 p.m. Everyone is invited. A more than $11 million project is getting underway near the location you see here, and it's all to improve drainage. The Urban Center Lift Station is designed to protect Irving's wastewater collection system when there is flooding along the Elm Fork of the Trinity River. While construction is happening, the Campión Trail will be closed just south of California Crossing Road. The California Crossing parking lot will also be closed. While taking a morning shower or getting something to drink, you may not think much about where that water comes from. Turns out it travels about 75 miles to get to your home. We went along on a journey with Irving leaders interested in seeing the steps it takes. This group of city, business, and community leaders is getting a tour of Irving's water system.
This is real important, and I am very excited about it.
We're really getting a good taste of what it takes to get all of that water into the city of Irving.
It's a tour that will take all day. Time needed to cover the range of facilities and travel the distance over which they are spread.
You know, sometimes we take things for granted, like our water. You think you turn on the faucet, but you really don't understand what it takes in order to get the water to households.
This is the source of most of Irving's water, Jim Chapman Lake near Sulphur Springs.
Very ambitious when you look at how far our water comes, not relying on others to bring water to Irving, but actually going out and making it happen and making a decision that Irving wants to have its own water supply and wants to control its own future in that regard.
Bob Bettis appreciates the planning of past city leaders who pushed for the construction of this lake. He was here for the beginning of some of this.
You're standing in a field with trees and someone says the water is going to be up to this level. The engineers can visualize that, but most of us lay people cannot visualize that.
Inside the pump station, the group gets to see some of the power needed to get the water moving on its path to Irving. Basically the equivalent horsepower of 30 half-ton trucks.
It is mind-boggling. I had no idea. I would have never known this if I had not been on this trip.
From there, the water travels 40 miles. While we made the trip by bus,
I think we're about ready to turn off.
Irving's water travels via an 84-inch pipe to this balancing reservoir.
Where we're at right now is a leveling pond because we have a 84-inch and a 72-inch lines coming together, and sometimes there gets air in it, and you have to have a way to level it and bubble it out without breaking the pipes.
The water then moves to the Princeton pump station.
We use that to reboost the pressure.
When we're in full operations, we're pushing anywhere from 62 to 65 million gallons of water per day.
Yeah, we have a control room at the Princeton pump station that's manned 24 hours a day. It's watching and monitoring all of the facilities up and down the pipeline.
The Princeton pump station is the last stop on this day's tour, but the water continues 33 miles on to Lake Louisville.
From Lake Louisville to the Dallas treatment plant, then back to Irving.
Our Hackberry pump station is where we distribute all of the water that comes into Irving.
Leaders hope that people who went on this tour gained new insight from all of the experiences throughout the day.
Until they really see it, I don't think it really hits home with them what's involved.
We want the residents to understand how their dollars are spent, you know, to see the millions of dollars, the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure that we have in place.
Huge investment, but because of that, we supply 85% of our own water. Compared to some of the other cities in the Metroplex, we have to buy the majority of all of their water.
I think it really shows when we're making decisions and what we're doing, what we've planned in the past, how we need to plan in the future to make sure that we have this infrastructure in place and we take care of it and take care of our citizens.
We have, just over the next 5 years, not only $100 million going into our roads, but another $130 million going into our water and sewer infrastructure.
The city of Irving is emphasizing the need to continue investing in infrastructure, maintaining what's here, and planning for growth.
We want our residents to know with this system and with the resources that we have and the resources that we're planning on having in the future, we have our water needs well taken care of into the foreseeable future.
For Irving, Texas, for us, and especially economic development, to be able to say Irving, Texas is taking care of its customers.
The tour goers now know the story behind what happens when they turn on the faucet, having checked out all that it takes to get water to your home. It's miles of pipe, decades of planning, and millions of dollars spent. Yeah, a lot to learn there. And on a related note, a reminder that the city is under watering restrictions through October 31st. People living in homes with even-numbered addresses may water Tuesdays and Saturdays. For odd-numbered addresses, it's Sundays and Wednesdays. Irrigation is never allowed between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. when evaporation rates are the highest. Along with watching the water, it's also the time of year to start watching for mosquitoes.
We take for granted it's just a mosquito bite. We take for granted it's just West Nile, and we've been talking about this for decades now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is deadly serious.
Dallas County Health and Human Services hosted this news conference to draw attention to the start of mosquito season. Our team also went into the lab where technicians analyzed mosquitoes collected in traps in Irving and all across the county. Speakers at this event stressed the importance of self-protection. By now, you've probably heard of the 4 Ds that can help with that. And at this event, we also heard a new acronym. Getting rid of mosquitoes takes a slap.
S means surveillance. We look for the mosquito. L is larvicide, reducing the immature stage of the larvae of the mosquito. A is adult, reducing the adult populations. And P is personal, personal protection, prevention. That's the partnership that we're asking you to help us.
He added that there is no way to tell how bad this season will be for West Nile virus in Dallas County. There is some good news in all of this. The Dallas County Medical Director says Zika virus is on the decline in the entire Western Hemisphere. That virus had been a concern because it can cause birth defects. Also at that event, a West Nile victim shared his story of living with the disease, and it's one you will want to hear. We'll bring you that on a future edition of City Source. Election news now, and there is only one contested race on the local ballot this year. Place 6 is a single-member district. The incumbent, Brad Lamorges, is not seeking re-election. Here are the candidates in the order they will appear on the ballot. That order is determined by drawing. Cheyenne Elahi is an attorney. Albert Zapanta is a president and CEO. The election for places 4 and 8 were canceled because they were not contested. Incumbents Phil Riddle and David Palmer will keep their seats on the council. Now here are the dates to keep in mind. Election Day is May 5th. Early voting will run April 23rd through May 1st. The City Secretary's office can answer election questions. That number is 972-721-2020. 2493. In other news, the city of Irving is looking for more lifeguards. Brett Wheeler looks at what goes into the job and why some say it's perfect for them.
Swimming has always been a favorite summer staple, but before you jump in the deep end, there should always be a lifeguard on deck.
It's really fun. You get so close to the people who you work with. They become family. It's a really good job.
Lifeguarding has always been a fun job ever since I started as well. I love my job too. And learning all these experiences, it's very helpful across the board. Experiences that for many lifeguards start here at the newly renovated North Lake Aquatic Center.
We've got an American Red Cross lifeguarding class going on. I think we've got 8 or 9 participants. 2 of our pool supervisors are teaching it. And in this class, our folks are learning all the skills that they will need to both rescue people, but it's not just lifeguarding, Brett. It is also first aid, it's CPR for professional rescuer, and it's AED skills. So when they're finished, they're certified in several disciplines, and they are just one step below an EMT 1.
Get it out of the water.
Valuable skills that all lifeguards must be certified in before they can make the save. Lifeguards are in high demand, and during the summer months, the city of Irving is looking to fill those poolside positions.
The reason I actually became a lifeguard is because I had a daughter at a very young age. So I kind of needed a job that was year-round that could help work with my school schedule at the time. So it ended up being lifeguarding.
Daniel Ferran has been a lifeguard since 2012 and says the skills he has learned here go way beyond the waves and can help in different areas outside of the pool.
We provide a lot of experience, and I would say I've learned a lot through aquatics that has helped me outside. I mean, we're hands-on, we're administrative. There's just a lot of work that comes with aquatics that will help you some type of way in any career field that you're trying to follow.
When I go recruit for our lifeguards, we always get responses like, oh, I already have a job, or I'm not interested. And what I typically say is, okay, but do you have a job that you're going to enjoy?
Pool supervisor Lydia Ochoa says while the job has many perks, knowing that lifeguards might be the difference that could potentially save someone's life is why she loves her job.
I know I've had to do like a serious save, and the person has been able to come back and they talk to me and they say, you know what, I'm just so happy that you were there at that moment, and it's just really gratifying. Candidates must be at least 16 years old and be able to pass the American Red Cross lifeguard training class.
Talk to us. We will train you. If you need some help on your swimming skills, we will help you do it. So don't let that be a barrier. Come on out. It's a great position. It's going to help you the rest of your life. You're going to be serving the community. You'll be really proud when you're finished with the job.
Brett Wheeler for City Source.
And on a related topic, the Parks Department and its partners are hosting a teen job fair on Friday, April 27th, starting at 2 p.m. at Lively Point Youth Center. In addition to summer jobs, information on internships will also be available. Some young people did a good deed at an Irving park. Our team caught up with the volunteers working in partnership with Keep Irving Beautiful and saw the results of all of their efforts.
We're out here at Running Bear Park for our annual project with the Latter-day Saints youth groups.
This is our youth conference, and so we planned, and every youth conference we try to do a service project, and so this is ours this year.
You just have to hold like this. This park was recently flooded, so what happens is it brings all the litter in going towards the river here, and then when the water recedes, it leaves the litter behind, so we're really thankful for the youth group coming out today.
We found this tire. It was like muddy, so we had to kind of get ourselves dirty. We got it out, and like there's another one.
In addition to the litter pickup, we're going to paint some metal safety railing up by the pavilion, by the playground area.
I've lived in Irving almost all of my life, and I think like I've used these parks before, and so I think giving back and cleaning up the parks that I've used is kind of like at your house, you clean up your own house because you want it to look pretty, so you want your parks to look pretty.
Anytime you're in the you're serving other people, you always feel happy.
Feels pretty good. Like if I come to the park with my friends from school, then I can be like, hey, I painted that fence.
We enjoy working with them, and we enjoy working with all faith groups and businesses.
It was just the perfect way to get involved with the community around us.
He has some good work there, and Keep Irving Beautiful welcomes other faith groups, businesses, and others to get involved. It always has projects to tackle across the city. Irving's 7th annual Bike Fest is coming up on Saturday, April 28th. This is video from past years you see here. And again, this time there will be a kids' bicycle safety rodeo, bike checkup, entertainment, and new this year, a marketplace. Bike Fest starts at 10 a.m. on April 28th at North Lake College. Attendees can also register to win a bike. And with that, it's time for our Pets of the Week. Here's Brett at the Animal Care Campus.
Hello everyone, I'm Brett Wheeler, this is Michael Whiteside, and this is Pets of the Week. Michael, we have the notorious Muggsy. Tell me a little about Muggsy.
Muggsy is quite an active young man. He's about a year old. We have him listed as a Chihuahua mix. I'm gonna guess because of his long legs, he's probably like a Chihuahua and maybe like a miniature deer or something. So he likes to jump, he likes to run, and he's very friendly.
And one thing I've noticed about Muggsy is Muggsy has a lot of energy. What sort of environment do you think will suit Muggsy and that hyperactivity maybe a little bit?
You know, I would think for Muggsy for sure, although he is a Chihuahua mix, he's really going to need a yard because he does have a lot of energy that he wants to run. And, you know, but he could also be a good walking dog or running dog if you go running, just to release some of that extra energy. I think, from what I understand, he's fine with kids and other pets. So, you know, even an environment with a family, with kids that could play with them and give them lots of attention and lots of activity. You know, he really just loves being around people.
All right, Michael, here we have Duke, and I think Duke absolutely fits his name. Tell me a little about him.
Yeah, Duke is still a puppy pretty much. He's about 9 months old. He's very strong. He has a lot of energy because he is still a puppy, but he does enjoy meeting new people. He does know a few commands. He's done sit for me. He does have a tendency to get a little excitable around other dogs, but I've never seen him be aggressive towards them.
Seeing that Duke is so young, you probably have to spend a lot of time maybe training him, getting used to his surroundings.
There'll be definitely an acclimation period when he goes home, but I think he is pretty smart. He, like I said, he does know sit. He is very friendly, as you can tell. And I think once he gets to know you and he's comfortable in his surroundings, you know, I think he'll do really well.
All right, Michael, so I'm noticing a trend with all the pets this week. They have a lot of energy, and Oshkosh is no different. Tell me about her.
You are correct. Oshkosh is only about 2 years old. She came to us from the city of Irving, and she was positive for heartworms. So she just finished her heartworm treatment yesterday, which is one of the reasons she's a little more excitable is, you know, when they're on heartworm treatment, they aren't able to be off leash. They have to be kept as calm as possible. So at this point now, she's just really ready to release some of that energy that she's had built up while she was getting her treatment. Despite her size, she is actually very strong. She's a pit mix. I think she's going to be, once she gets comfortable with someone and gets comfortable in a new home, she's going to be a lap dog.
That was the first thing I noticed, is that she is always wanting to jump in my lap and always ready for some kisses.
Exactly, and that's how she's been since we first got her here.
Oshkosh seems very excited, but one thing I'm really excited about is WAG Walk and Roll, which is coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, WAG Walk and Roll is our annual walk event. That is really more of a fundraiser. It's kind of a leisure walk, and it's a fundraiser, and we have quite a few fundraisers signed up now. But the event itself is going to be on the 14th. It'll be along the Campión Trail by Java Me Up in North Irving. We're going to have some vendors there, and we'll also have shelter dogs there available for adoption, or you can make a small donation and walk one of the shelter dogs along the trail as well. So it's a great opportunity to just come out and meet some of our dogs, get a little bit of a walk in, bring your own pets if you want. And then help raise money for DFW Humane Society.
That sounds amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, go check that out. Maybe Oshkosh will be there ready for a walk herself, but be sure to check for those events. Back to you, Thomas.
Thanks a lot. Good to hear about another fun fundraiser coming up. The Animal Care Campus is located at 4140 Valley View Lane. It is open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. Then on Saturday, the hours are 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Also, check out the websites you see on your screen for more adoptable animals. We have a lot of big stories coming up next time on City Source. Of course, this is the time of year for big events, and we're covering the Irving Marathon, Pet Palooza, and more. Also, it's a celebration of the topping off of the Westin Irving Convention Center Hotel. We will hear what leaders are saying about that project. And the Toyota Music Factory will celebrate its grand opening with a ribbon cutting. Organizers are promising a lot of entertainment over that weekend. All of that and more next time. Remember, you can always email us to let us know what you think. Our address is ictn@cityofirving.org. You can also find us at youtube.com/thecityofirving. Subscribe to our channel so you can get notifications and be among the first to see our videos. Also, give us some likes while you're there. And that's it for this edition of City Source. We leave you now with more from the grand opening of Big Beat Dallas. Thanks to everyone who was a part of this one, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.